Hey everyone, so today I'm going to teach you how to expand triple brackets. And I'm going to do that by going over this question here. I'll explain all the techniques. You're also going to learn how to expand double brackets. So hopefully this will be a good educational video where you learn how to expand these sorts of brackets and you can use these skills for other questions. So starting with the question we have here, question number 1. We need to expand x plus 7 times x minus 2 times x plus 3. We're also going to simplify our results. So when expanding these brackets, it's important to note that they have two elements in each bracket. So this technique works for that, and a lot of questions you're going to get in exams or just in general tests will be double brackets or triple brackets, but they have two elements in each. So for example, you have an x, that's one element, and then you have a 7, which is the other element, or a plus 7 in the first bracket. That's what I mean by elements. So start by expanding two of the brackets. You can use any technique you want. I use this sort of smiley face, I guess you call it, technique. Now I'm not sure if people still use this technique, but it's what I like to do. And it's easy to remember because it's kind of like a smiley face. On the bottom you've got, I guess, the smiley part, and then you've got the chin. And on the top you've got the sort of, I guess, eyebrows or top of the head. And this makes sure you remember to times everything. So obviously the things inside their own bracket aren't going to multiply together, but it makes sure, for example, the x multiplies by everything in the x minus 2 bracket, and then the 7 for the x minus 2. And it kind of makes sure, I guess, everyone gets to meet everyone. Everyone gets seen, so everyone gets a chance to mingle. You can kind of picture it like a party or, you know, like an event. Everyone needs a chance to meet everyone. So you got to make sure everything that should be times together is times in together. And that's basically making sure everything in one bracket multiplied by another bracket, you know, gets multiplied by that. So expanding out, you just times one part at a time. I started with the top part, so I did the x times the x, which is x squared. I did the 7 times the minus 2, which is minus 14. I did the plus 7x because it's 7 times x, and the minus 2x. So I've just expanded it out and put it in its own bracket, keeping it multiplied by the original x plus 3 bracket. And you could expand it out further from here, but I decided to simplify the new bracket a little bit. I rearranged it a little, you don't have to, but I took the x squared and then I kind of added or subtracted the 7x and minus 2x. That gives us 5x. Then we got the minus 14 still. So I expanded it out, and then I just simplified it a bit because it's going to be easier for the next expanding or expansion. So from here I drew this kind of, I guess it might look like a weird line technique, but all I'm doing is making sure that everything that should be times together is getting times. So for example, in that second bracket we have the x. I know it needs to times by the x squared, the 5x, and the minus 14. So I draw a line to each. And the same for the 3. I need to make sure it multiplies the x squared, the 5x, and minus 14. So doing this, you're going to make sure that everything that should multiply is going to be multiplied, a bit like that sort of event example I mentioned before. So just times them out one at a time. I believe I started on the top for this one. So I did the x squared times the x, which is x cubed, 5x times x, which is 5x squared, and then the minus 14 times x, which is minus 14x. Next we do the 3 times x squared, which is 3x squared, the 5x times 3, and the 3 times minus 14, which is minus 42. So we've expanded, and from here it's always good to simplify. Sometimes things cancel out and it's just a much cleaner answer, and you're probably going to get asked to simplify anyway if you're being asked this sort of question. So from here you've basically just got to group together the items that would be part of the same group. So group together any x cubed, any x squared, any x, and any just constants, which are, a constant is just a number by itself. So for example, we have an x cubed, so we just put that first. And it's best to put them in, I guess, power rank order, so the cubed, then the squared, then the x's, etc. So I was saying we've got the x cubed, and then we got the 5x squared plus the 3x squared. Well, that's 8x squared. Next we've got the 15x and 14x. You know, 15 minus 14 is just 1x, so you just put x. You can put 1x if you want, but you should probably just put x. And then we have the minus 42, which is, there's no other constant, so you just keep it as minus 42. And that is your final answer. That's how you expand and simplify triple brackets. I mean, in particular, triple brackets that have two sets of elements each. But you can use these kind of techniques, particularly the second expansion part. You can use that technique for, you know, any sorts of brackets. The first technique is more for double brackets with two elements in each. But hopefully that made sense. Hopefully it was clear. If you do have comments or questions, you can drop them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you there. Best of luck with all your maths, and thanks for watching.